Hi guys, it's me, it's Debs. I know it's been a long time, a very long time, and I definitely will address that at the end of the video, but I'll save it for the end in case there's people here that are just here for the subject, which is the canceled podcast. Okay, well, maybe not the whole podcast, but this is essentially something that has like brought me out of my slumber. Like, I can't even. So I don't know if you know, but Cancel is a podcast with Tana, mongeau, and Brooke Schofield, who Brooke actually was Tana's friend, and she added her onto this podcast, and now she has come into notoriety, and in my humble opinion, she's become a textbook example of what not to do in trying to become an influencer, and just for me personally become a perfect example of what is wrong with influencer culture today. Like, it literally woke me up from my slumber. I have notes. God, where to start? Okay. So essentially it's a podcast about these two girls that, I mean, you might argue one more so than the other, but they sit on a couch and they kind of do skirt or allege negative issues, but in reality it's mostly geared towards people that they want to cancel, or at least that's what it's become, in my opinion. It's just kind of, I think, gotten out of control. And yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of read my notes because it's kind of my first time back in a long time, so I'm feeling a little bit nervous. So I'll just read it. I'm so over influencers sitting on couches trying to cancel people for cheating on them or being a mean girl or telling them not to get a bob haircut. Meanwhile, they're posting racist tweets saying that Trayvon Martin's death was self-defense. Sit with that for a moment. But yet you want to cancel someone because another fellow influencer, because you messaged them and they're that Bob, this is what she messaged this girl who has a bob, and she's a bob influencer promoting bob. So she messages her and says, hey, like, I'm thinking about getting a bob, and the girl said, don't do it, it won't look good on you, it's not good for long faces. And she talked about it on her podcast, was trying to cancel her, like, that's so mean, that's so rude, why would you say that? I feel very self-conscious or about insecure about having a long, as a fellow long-faced woman, she's 100% true. You know why? I once got a bob haircut and it was awful. You know why? Because it makes your face look longer. So she was actually trying to be nice, and that she tried to cancel her for that. Oh my God. And she also said a lot of homophobic slurs, which is someone that falls under the umbrella as a pansexual. That is not cool. She said the F word. Well, and I know some gay people like use it themselves, but to me, I think it's in the similar context as the N word. Like, to be honest, I think the N word should not be used by anyone. I hate it. It makes me feel sick to my stomach. But if anyone is allowed to say it, it's those people, and nobody else should say it. You know what I mean? And that's coming from me, who it has personally experienced homophobia. I used to walk, when I was in high school, I'd walk down the hallways and people used to laugh at me and call me a dyke. So I know what that's like. So I don't think those words are for, I mean, if people that belong to that category want to use it as like a joke or taking their power back, that's fine, but I don't think that anyone else should use it. And to be honest, I think that any of those kinds of terms, in my personal opinion, I would love to see them just completely go away. But if you're not part of that, you shouldn't say it, period. Anyways, she also made a tweet saying that she was pretending to be a liberal. She said that this is when she was in college, she said, when I pretended to be a liberal, I noticed that my grades started improving. I think that that's kind of like a red flag in a person, that they would even think like, I'm gonna pretend to be like a different political view. Like, I feel like in college, like unless you're in maybe political science or something, which from what she said, she was like in the medical thing, like I don't think anyone asked or cares. So that's interesting that you, I don't know, it just speaks a lot about your character, that you would go to those lengths to get a good grade. Like when I was in university, I could give a fuck. Like I could give a fuck. Like I would go out partying like last night. I would, you know, take some of my brother's Adderall and remember everything. Like, I don't know, I just couldn't give a fuck. I did take a political science class, and half the shit they argued about, I could care less. I could never imagine me like, I'm gonna lie and say I'm this political, who gives a fuck? I mean, unless you're a Trump supporter, sorry, not sorry. Okay, so, oh yeah, and then so, all of that went public, and then after that, she liked a tweet of this guy and Trump. She has admittedly said that she doesn't have a PR person. I think you should get one, girl. Like, because why? I mean, at least lay low for like a bit, you know? Anyway. And in my notes, I did kind of go off on a little bit of like a Trump tangent, and you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So while I don't think that you should cancel someone for like their political views, I do want to, and also because Trump is running again, I do want to remind everyone that Trump has done also some racist things himself, and generally his biggest fans or biggest supporters do tend to be, well, I'm not saying that everyone that supports him is a racist, but generally there are a lot of racists that do support him. I'm just saying. And also not to mention that, wasn't he like charged with like a bunch of like crimes? I think it's really, I'm sorry, like the states needs to update their laws, because I don't think that you should be allowed to run for president of the country when you've been you know, you've committed really fucked up shit, and I think you were charged with it. And do you remember how I used to give like Hillary Clinton such a hard time about emails? Look who's laughing now, bitch. Oh, and I hope that none of us forget all like the literal race wars that ensued when Trump was a president. I mean, I'm from Canada. I don't live in the States, but I will never forget. I've been just reading about it. It literally turned into like a race war and some horrific thing. Like, if you were a black person, like you were not, I mean, like I said, I'm not from the States. I don't know if that is still the case, but I just remember it was talked about a lot during that time. I hope to God that it is not, and I wish it never was. But during that time, like it did not feel like a safe space, from at least what I was seeing, for it to be a black person. Like, even if you got pulled over like by the cops for like, you know, like speeding or something, like it just was insane. Not to mention that one of like the first things that he did when he became president was that he put a ban on people coming in from, I think, 7 different countries. Let's see, to be exact, Saudi Arabia, Egypt. Oh wait, no, sorry. Those are the ones that he allowed to come in, because he did business with those countries. Oh, sorry. Oh no, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay. So the countries that he banned were anyone that was a citizen of Syria, Iraq, Iran, Libya, Sudan, Yemen, or Somalia. And then they referenced 9/11, which is odd. Well, not to say that that would be a right reason to do that. I don't think so at all. At all. However, the attackers from 9/11 were from Saudi Arabia, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, and Lebanon. And those countries were safe because Trump, at least that's what I would, it just so happens that he did business with those countries. So how does that make sense that you banned them due to 9/11, but really they didn't have anything to do with 9/11? Is it maybe perhaps something to do with oil? Or maybe because they don't do business with you? And I have a friend who's a famous gay author. You know what? Let me go grab his book right now. Shit, I just spilled my drink. It's fine. Okay. His name is Hassan Namir, and he has no knowledge that I'm making this video, so like, please don't send him any negativity if you don't agree with my views or anything. But his name is Hassan Namir. He's a famous writer. He's also gay, which is a bonus. I don't know. But anyways, my point is, he has lived in Canada for, I don't know, since before I knew him, which at this point is probably like almost 10 years. And he's gay. Like, I'm sorry, like, I think the only thing gay people want to terrorize is the dance floor. He's not. However, because he's originally from Iraq, he was not allowed to enter the States. I'm sorry, that's fucked up. Yeah, like, are you, I don't know, it still to this day makes me like sick to my stomach. I just can't, it literally doesn't make sense. Like, I can't. Anyways, okay, let's get back to the point here. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so back to the point, Brooke Schofield. Okay, so after she was given shit for liking those or posting those tweets, she liked a Trump tweet, and then after she got shit for that, guess what she did? She started following Kamala Harris. To me, that reads like a really fake ass person, the same kind of person that would pretend to be, you know, a liberal to get better grades. And she also said that, she also did this whole video how she said like, oh, my parents were addicts, I didn't really understand how life was, like it wasn't until like after college, I was like 18 when I did those tweets. 18 is like quite old. I mean, who am I to talk? I'm much older than 18, but I mean like old enough to know better, you know? Old enough to know better. In her video, she was like, hand flicks. I don't know really anything much about body language, but I feel like when someone's like I'm talking like, when someone's doing that, I feel like it gives off a little bit of a disingenuous vibe. And then she also said that she, in one of her like apology videos, she said her second one, might I add, she said that it wasn't until like college, after college, that I started to learn. I did my thesis on like racial issues, but she also said that she lied about being a liberal to get better grades. So while she used doing that, which who knows if that's even true, as she admittedly said she loves to lie. So that's coming from her. So if you had actually yourself tweeted saying that you lied to be a liberal to get better grades, then therefore, in my, you know, professional opinion, that would negate anything that would come from like, oh, but I did a thesis on racial issues, but you had tweeted that you lied about being a liberal. So who would it not make sense to question that? Did you just do that to get better grades? Did you lie about that? It kind of negates that. And then the performative, well, I wouldn't say that liking Trump's tweet was performative, but it was very telling. But the performative adding of Kamala Harris afterwards, I would say that is telling. And also, this person, Brooke Schofield, has shown me I have watched their canceled podcast, and almost like in a character analysis kind of way, because something was not quite right. So basically she dated this, I guess, famous enough, like 2 million followers kind of thing, singer on TikTok, which I didn't know who he was before that. She dated him, and then I guess she started, first she started off saying like, this guy I dated, he cheated on me, and he lied about being from Australia, that his parents died or something, and I was just like, I don't know, okay, I'm sorry, but he cheated on, like, I'm sure like almost like 90%, if not more, of men cheat, which I mean, I get it, like, we hear you out, but then she just yap for like, I don't know, for like a year or something. And then he released or TikTok saying like, I've been over it for like 2 years, but she still yaps, because she was going on different podcasts, and I'm not sure if she exactly used his name, but she kept yapping about the situation. And so after that, she did a 20-part tell-all story about how he cheated on me, he lied about being from Australia, and he lied about his parents dying or something like that. And it's just, and then all of a sudden people are like, yeah, Team Brooke, and I don't know, like, she kind of insinuated that there was more to the story, more insidious things, but she never like really said it. And at that point I was like, okay, that you dated for like 3 months 2 years ago, he cheated on you and he lied, okay, but she like started this whole thing, like, cancel him. And then there was a podcast episode where, like, on Cancel Podcast, they talked about how he also made like, I don't know, another 20-part video like in response. And then she was like, they're like, oh, he moved to San Diego. She's like, follow him, people follow him. And she's like, and then they're like, yeah, he had to run away. What was he gonna do, find a new girlfriend, and just like all this stuff. And then another girl, she posted, or she talked about on the podcast, saying like, oh, she's such a mean girl, she's so mean, cancel her. And then the Bob Gate that I mentioned about. So these are the people that we're making famous now. You sit there on a couch and I mean, of course, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with telling your story, but you're yapping for at least a year, 20-part series, yapping, this girl is mean, this girl told me not to get a bob, this girl yapping about all these small things. But what are you really doing with your platform? Like, these are the people we're giving a platform to. And then she goes on Trisha's like podcast, Trisha Paytas, put some respect on her name, Trisha Paytas podcast, and Trisha was like interviewing her. She's like, what do you want? She's like, I want to go on Dancing with the Stars, I want to go on a real production. And I was just like, if I was Trisha, I would be like offended. It's just, it's like, she got some followers, she got some likes, and all of a sudden she thinks because she canceled a guy for cheating, whatever, which I'm sure, I'm not saying that that's okay, but it's just like, now you want to go on Dancing with the Stars, you want to cancel everyone, and you just get on this high horse. And she started being like, I want to be brand friendly. Like, at one point I did like 4 shampoo ads in like a month, and I didn't even wear them, and like, brand friendly. And then at one point they had this video where they had Leo Skeppy, which is like another influencer, but he's actually like a life coach or something, like, so he does use his platform for good. And when he was like, I'm with, I can't remember the name, this talent agency, she's like, fuck you, oh, what am I doing wrong? You're doing this, you're this successful. What am I doing wrong? It's just like ultimate pick me. I don't know. I always had a bad feeling about her, but then finding out the racist stuff, I feel like there it is. I mean, you could argue that I do something similar with the videos that I made, you know, regarding the Johnny Depp case, that like pointing the finger at someone. But I think that there are times when that is warranted. But when you just start pointing the finger, like, you didn't, you said that I would look bad with a bob, you're canceled. Like, I just think that that is just so wrong. And it kind of encompasses everything I think is wrong with influencer culture today. Oh, another thing I add. So I don't think I've mentioned this yet. One of the main, most offensive, I would say, yes, the most offensive racist tweets that she said was that Trayvon Martin's murder was like a matter of self-defense, not murder. Which to me reads like the same kind of person that would say that it's okay for, you know, George Floyd's murder by the police. It's not okay. In my opinion, that's my opinion. It's not okay. And then she goes on to say that it wasn't kind of like until George Floyd's case that she really started to like learn more and change her views and stop being racist. Girl, that was not very long ago. Like literally, like within like the last maybe 4 years or something. Like that was during COVID time. So, and this is where my legal shit starts to come in here. So George Floyd was your wake-up call. So what was the difference between George Floyd as opposed to Trayvon Martin? What was the difference? What was the difference between those cases that made you be like, oh, you know, black people, you know, or just people of color are oppressed? Like what was the difference? I'd love to know. I'm very interested to know. What was the difference between those two cases? I'm waiting. Okay, so yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna title this. Probably like the canceled podcast, but I just want to say I'm not trying to be honest, it's just probably gonna be a clickbait title. I don't saying we should cancel them, and this is more geared specifically towards Brooke. So like Tana has her like own past, but she's like sober now and it seems like she's making a difference. And she's even said on her newest podcast episode that she wants to actually use that platform to speak up more about these kinds of issues. Oh yeah, that's another thing where she talks about how when she was 17 she hooked up with another famous influencer, Cody Cohen. He was like 25 and she was 17. And I'm from Canada. Like I think our age of consent here is like 14. So I don't know. I'm not gonna even go there. However, that was something she was getting flack for or whatever, and she had to like address it. And Brooke decided that was a good time for her to leave because she was like uncomfortable. However, Tana sat there and listened to you, yeah, you're trapped about your boyfriend that cheated on you, whatever. But I know that in the States, I will say that it's an automatic essay if you're under 18, or at least apparently from what I understand, the state they were in when this allegedly happened, which I am not saying to say that I think she's lying. I'm just saying to protect my own self, like legally. So, you know, so at the state that they were in, she was of that age. So that would automatically make it a crime or an essay automatically. So I don't know. I just feel like you should have had your girls back when she had yours. I don't know. But anyways, I digress. So this was just kind of like a wake-up call for me, more so in the sense that it's just sad to see that these are people that are influencing now, or like what exactly are they influencing? Things that we should buy, people that we should cancel, like how to dress, how to talk, how to act. I mean, I think like one good thing that came out of COVID is it kind of was like an awakening for, at least, I mean, I'll be so fucking for real. I don't travel the world so much, so I can't really speak, but I would say at least for North America, see, who knows, maybe the world was already awake and we just were, you know, sleeping. But ever since, I feel like North America has kind of more so woken up to like getting over the celebrity obsession culture. Like, why are celebrities, like we used to be insane about that. I feel like we're kind of waking up to that, and also influencers as well. And I think they're picking up on that, and they're kind of like, I notice, grasping at straws to kind of stay. I think people have realized that like at least the influencer culture that we used to know is gonna die out, I would say, pretty soon, and thank God for that. Honestly, it's like, it was so like disingenuous, and I was guilty of it myself. Like, oh, what should I wear? How should I look? How should what's cool? Like, I think we all were, you know. It was almost just like, almost like kind of reminded me of like high school, you know. It's like in high school, the people that are popular were like hot, rich, everyone wanted to be friends with them. They weren't, not always, I mean, not to say that if you're popular you're not smart, but they were usually not like the smartest. They were usually the people that like, they're peaking in high school, like they're like, you know, top notch. And then people that got bullied at that time were like eccentric or like weird, you're a drama kid, or like I even kind of just mentioned my story. I'd walk down the hall, you're fucking dying. Like, if you're weird or different, or you don't dress like other people, you don't act like other people, you stick out, you stand out, you're weird. It's almost like a scarlet letter that they would put on you. Weirdo. I'm not always, but often times get bullied. I know I experienced that. However, I feel like North America is kind of graduating from high school finally, and those people that are just like cookie cutter, like, are not as cool anymore. It's like, what? You're just, yeah, you're hot, but there's so many people that are hot. What makes you different? You're boring. And I'm glad, I thank you to Gen Z, because Gen Z is so about that. It's just like, it makes me happy that we are turning into a time that things that used to make you weird or bullied or like stand out and be bad things are kind of starting to become good things. Those are the things that make you stand out are good. It's good to stand out. It's good to be different. It's good to be unique. Those are the people that should be influencers. And not to say that we should and that's a whole another thing I wanted to mention. Like, I think this is my like call to action here. Like, we need to change the whole idea of an influencer. I believe that everyone needs to be an influencer. 100%. I'll just read my little. It says the world needs us all to be influencers. To influence the world to be a better place, to influence justice, love, fairness. How can you influence the people around you in your life, in your community? How can you stand up for the underdog? How can you make a difference? This is something for us all to do. It's our life's work. And please, if you have any suggestions or any causes or anything that you want to like raise awareness for, please mention it down below. Because in this community, I believe we are all influencers. I don't know, I was trying to come up with like a term for hopefluencers. I don't know, let me know if you like it. But yeah, it's just like, and Trump's running for office again, and I don't know, it's just, I hope that if you are from America, please vote for Kamala Harris. Comment down below, or as True Bear would say, Mama. Yeah, and so I guess to get into where I've been, you know what? Maybe I'll save it for a different video. Yeah. I think I want to just keep it a little bit, well, somewhere it isn't exactly lighthearted. well, it's not. We're talking about racism, yeah. But it's not about me. So the next, wait, that sounded weird. Okay, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's just, it's dark, very dark. So I don't know. I'll make a separate video, and I'm gonna make a new series called Trauma Time, where it's gonna be me talking about my stuff so that other people don't feel alone, and also if anyone has things that they want me to talk about, they don't feel safe to talk about, I can they can email me anonymously, and I will talk about it for them. And sometimes it's just you wish your voice could be out there, and even if anonymous, we can do that, no matter however dark it may be. I'll put something down below about that, and I'll reference that more in the next video. And in the next video, I'll talk more about where I've been or what's new in my life. But yeah, so comment down below, let me know what you think of this video. Hope you're all well, hope you're still here, and if you're new, welcome. And just tell me what you think about this canceled podcast. Do you watch it? Will you still watch it? I've noticed there's a lot of comments who are like, I won't watch it. I don't know, but I guess they say like attracts like, and then when Tana stood up for her, they're like, it's just like, I condemn this behavior. And they're like, you're such a hypocrite. But there is like a saying that like attracts like, so you never know. But yeah, anyways, it's something that really is not that important, but at the end of the day, it kind of reignited that fire in me, and just that need that people need to just talk about important stuff, you know, make a change, positive way. Not, I mean, I know that I'm like a nobody, and probably even more of a nobody now, but it's just kind of reignited that fire. I think I want to get back into things and talk about, you know, difficult topics. Sorry, there's a bug there. So yeah, hopefully you'll be here with me to watch. Let me know your comments, and if you say anything racist, I'm gonna block you. Okay, thank you, bye guys.